Welcome back to Big Gold Belt Media. It is Damian G with another animated show review here for the channel. And this time I had the pleasure of reviewing Common Side Effects, which is on Adult Swim, releasing every Sunday, with the replay being broadcasted the next day on Max. Now, I'll go and tell you off the bat that this was a show I did not expect to enjoy in the least. I had the lowest expectations that I've had in a long time in regards to a show, an animated show at that. And for those that know, I do cover a lot of animated shows as I am a lover of nostalgia. But this show is an odd ride, okay? It takes the world of Big Pharma. There's big shenanigans in between Big Pharma and a magic blue mushroom. All that stuff is occurring between these two things: Big Pharma, Big Mushroom. So what if I told you that this miracle mushroom was the end all, the be all, the believe all to all of your ailments and curing you of all your diseases? What if I told you that thing existed? Well, in Common Side Effects, it does. And that's the problem, is that Big Pharma is fighting against this, because this show is a very interesting take on medication, the need for medication, the need for affordable medications, what's the balance between capitalism and doing altruistic good for the world through the power of this blue mushroom. So there's a deeper meaning to this cartoon than just, hey, there's a mushroom, hey, there's a pharma person trying to take said mushroom. So when I watched the trailer, I got to admit, I wasn't expecting much. But this show has a mix of who done it, who's gonna do it, who's gonna get it, and who's gonna get got. Now, if you watch the show, you'll know exactly what I mean by that. And you're gonna have to watch the show to see who fits in all those little boxes, right? So this show is full, it's surprisingly full of intrigue that I wasn't prepared for, okay? The show itself, it revolves around two high school friends, and these are non-spoiler as this has been discussed in the trailer. Marshall, Francis. One is the curator of said magic mushroom, who is a fungi aficionado. The other is trying to make a name for themselves in the Big Pharma world, or the Big Pharma company that they work for, at the expense of Marshall, because they're friends. But she's thinking big picture. Frances is thinking big picture about her career. So the journey takes the duo in this crosshair of, as I said, Big Pharma execs. There's the police, there's law enforcement, there's a lot of shenanigans that goes on within this cartoon that I didn't expect to be so layered in terms of the things involved, right? There's the DEA, there's some other shady characters creeping in from behind the shadows that you have to watch to understand, because someone is always watching. And this show lets you understand that someone is always watching. So there is some intrigue in this show. It's not very cut and paste. Not to say that there aren't some low points and lull points. The main leads, or at least the performances of the main leads of Marshall and Francis, they weren't it for me. They weren't that enthralling. And I know in other reviews I've done for the channel, I have been really hard on the voice actors. As a former voice actor, I feel I have a very interesting perspective in terms of performances and acting and things of that nature. And I just felt that they did their job to keep the story moving, but the overall vocal performances left me wanting a little bit more. Maybe that's the whole point. That was the, I guess, the end all, like I said before, to these characters were to be very laid back or very dry. But I didn't feel a sense of energetic anything from either of the two, right? The animation itself, this is a very Mike Judgian. Oh, if you didn't know, Mike Judge is part of the executive producers of the show. So if you know King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead, things like that, you know what a Mike Judge vehicle is in terms of graphics, in terms of animation. It was never my favorite. I was never a big King of the Hill animation style. I wasn't a fan of it, right? But nostalgia lovers, you're going to undoubtedly like this. I have a sneaking suspicion if you liked King of the Hill in terms of the animation, and there's a little bit of a modern take on it, very smooth. You're working with a bigger budget. I'll just say that, but it still didn't connect for me in terms of the animation. It might for you. I felt as if I was watching this show as if I should have been high, because the big eyes on the characters, the way they're animated, it's mixed with the kind of mundane performances of the voice actors. It's a weird combination, thusly leading to a common side effect for me while watching this show of tuning out every so often, because even though the plot over the season has been good, there are some low points that aren't even about the performances. Just some of the writing in certain episodes could leave a little bit more on the table. And it just, there are moments I found myself wanting to fast forward through some of them and get back to the action scenes. Now, the chase action scenes, the whodunit, as I said before, the mystery, it's very Minority Report is if you've seen that movie or any kind of, I guess, espionage type film, you'll like this. I enjoyed that portion of it all. So if you can take the good with the not so great, then this would be an interesting show for you to watch. The writing in general, like I said, it's a lot more depthful than you think going into this. You think it's going to be, and I'll be frank, you're going to think this is a stoner show because it's centered around a blue mushroom. But then you realize there's some interesting monologues and dialogues being cut amongst all these characters, from the mains to the sides to the reoccurring, even the big characters. They leave a little bit of an imprint on you in their performance. I know I said the performances themselves didn't have a lot of energy, but that didn't mean the script wasn't good. The writing is so layered, and it's not just, as I said, blue mushroom versus big pharma. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, and I actually enjoy that. I like nuance in my cartoons. I know a lot of people get on me for that, saying, hey, it's a cartoon, just enjoy it. I like nuance. I don't want to be brain dead while watching a cartoon or an animated special. That's just not my thing. So all in all, I give this a 5 out of 10. As I said, you may miss the meanings of some of the depth and some of the nuance and the minutia. And if you do, that's a shame, because I think that's the best part of this show. As I said, 5 out of 10. Overall plot of the season is good with a little bit of missteps. Some of the standout writing is unfortunately undone by the lackluster vocal performances, and the animation style just didn't connect for me. So you let me know in the comments down below. Common Side Effects releases every Sunday on Adult Swim, with the next day having the episode drop on Max. Non-spoiler review. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy this show, if you like what it's doing so far. Am I off base? Let me know. And this has been Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbelt.com, your one-stop shop for all things entertainment. I am Damon G. Find me on social media at Damon G Show across the board, and I will catch you on the next review.